It's showtime.
Hey guys, Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And I finally got a chance to do this. And review Star Wars Kenobi by John Jackson Miller. Whew, man, this is... I don't know why it's just been taking me so long, but I've finally gotten a chance to listen to a bunch of audiobooks. So this means I can actually just kick back, relax, and go for a walk and just listen to this. My books that I'm meaning to read and just never have read. So, with Kenobi, this is set 19 years after the Battle of... or before the Battle of Yavin. And this is right after Episode 3. And this is a much requested book for me to read, and I finally got a chance to listen to the whole thing. And the audiobook was narrated by Jonathan Davis, and he did an excellent job in narrating it. And it did have like all the Star Wars sound effects, and I'm also spoiled with audiobooks, with listening to previous like comic audiobooks where you had multiple voice actors doing the voice lines and stuff. But in this, with mainstream audiobooks, you have one person doing everything. And that's a tough job, but I have to give credit to the person who's doing it. So they always do a great job, and when it comes to Star Wars, they always get the best people to do it. So this is a non-spoiler review. Might spoil little bits here and there, but I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler review to get you guys into this and give you guys my thoughts at the same time. Tatooine, the harsh desert planet on the edge of civilized space, is an unlikely place to find a Jedi Master in hiding. Known to locals only as Ben, the bearded and robed offworlder shares nothing of his past and goes to great pains to remain an outsider. But when violence erupts between some of Tatooine's farmers and a tribe of marauding Tusken raiders, Ben finds himself drawn into the conflict. It's a move that may reveal him as Obi-Wan Kenobi, hero of the Clone Wars, enemy of the Empire, and endanger his true mission as protector of the galaxy's last hope. But with blood unjustly spilled, innocent lives threatened, and a ruthless opponent unmasked, Ben has no choice but to summon Jedi wisdom and the formidable power of the Force. So I'll come out and say it. This is a must-read for Star Wars fans, and I don't know why it's taken me the longest time to get around to listen and read this, but it was excellent. I really enjoyed the story. There are some flaws which I will get into, but what are the things I liked about? First off, this is set in Tatooine, and it is a Western. Tatooine is the perfect setting for this, as it's a desert world, and I'm a big fan of Westerns, and we know The Mandalorian is so much a Western, but Kenobi did it first, and I'm sure there was other Star Wars media out there that were more Western material, but this is the perfect setting, because Kenobi, who is like this drifter, and he's recovering from this devastating past, from Episode 3, and trying to live a new life. And he is kind of like the outsider / hero of this story. And he's kind of like the cowboy of this world. And you have this town that he sometimes visits. You have Tusken Raiders who represent Native Americans. And, as somebody, I'm going to get into the political aspect of it. But with me, I always feel sympathy for Native Americans. For what has been done with them. It's just a horrible way for what they've been enduring in the past, and still to this present day. It's just awful. And the Tusken Raiders are very much the embodiment of Native Americans. Not so much in savage nature, but misunderstood, and they are kind of like they see themselves as the protectors of their world from outsiders who want to just destroy it. And I see that with the Native Americans. And slowly but surely, they're just kind of forced in a corner where they have to, defend themselves. And, they have to do some ugly things from time to time, but they actually are people. They're not totally evil by any means, but they have a code of honor of sorts. And yeah, I just liked how this novel kind of shared that. In the beginning, I was kind of like, oh no, I'm not sure about this. But they slowly but surely, they got the Tuskens really right, and they actually humanized them in a way that I didn't expect. And I think they did a better job than in the Mandalorian. I'm actually happy that they did this with the Tusken Raiders in the first episode, and they had them help the the community to help them fight against the Krayt Dragon in the first episode. So I actually like that. They were in the corner themselves, so they had to work with their enemies in the process. So I like that. I'm glad that the Mandalorian showed Tuskens as good for once, and they're always shown as horrible, despicable, terrible, almost like the Native Americans, and still to this day almost, And then you have other characters in the mix. I'll just mention two of them. One is Annalene, who is like this owner of this cantina, or I think it's a tavern. She's kind of like this angry person, but she has a really terrible past, and she wanted to do so much more, and the writing was on the wall with her character. She kind of had a liking to Ben, and you could see that pretty evidently. And then you have Roland, who's kind of like the leader of this town of sorts, and he uses the citizens' call whenever there's like a Tusken raid, and they come to help those people in the process of being attacked or whatever. If they're, they use their comm to call for aid. So they come. They're kind of like a militia of sorts. But Roland seems like a good person at the start. And you can see he kind of butts heads with Kenobi at times. And I thought this was a really well-written book. And towards the end, I think the last 3/4 way into the book, it became great. It became incredible. It was a whole nother level. Another good I forgot to mention is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I thought he was excellent in this. And, John got him right perfectly. And you could see, like, the way he is written, that he's a hurt person. He's just damaged from the events of episode 3. And he does a lot of, he suffers a lot of errors. He doesn't know how to proceed with things because of all the shit that happened in episode 3. And it's just like, he's still trying to recover. And you could see, like, the sadness just imbue from him. And the characters even saw that too. They saw that instantly. And you really feel for him a lot. Now, the things I don't like, I will say. Okay, so with Annalene, which is one of the women who connects with Ben, and then you have Roland, who, kind of butts head with Kenobi from time to time. Their kids are so fucking annoying. It deals with them and their kids, and you have the story revolving around both of them a lot. Quite a lot. More than I expected. And I understand this is called Kenobi, and I know it's not going to be entirely on Kenobi, and I get it. But if you're reading this just for Kenobi, you're going to be disappointed. I didn't know what to expect from this novel. I really didn't. But it focused way too much on them and their kids were so fucking annoying, so terrible. And I thought there was like one kid out of nowhere. I thought she was like 10 or something, the way she talked and stuff. And the way they, John Jackson Miller wrote her. Eventually, down the road, I found out she was like 17 or something. I'm like, bitch, that is not a 17-year-old. That person did not act like a 17-year-old. That was like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. Like, that's just nonsense. But with these characters, the plot is just so super slow. I didn't hate them by any means. But, I felt like there was too much focus on them, and the plot just got slower and slower as, with them. It became to abrupt halt. But it does pick up, I will say. Now, another disappointing thing that I didn't like too was...
Shit, here we go again.
So Obi-Wan is, at many moments in this book, he meditates and he tries to reach out to Qui-Gon Jinn. So he's talking through the Force, and he's trying to reach out to Qui-Gon Jinn. So he's just saying his thoughts of what happened in the day and stuff like that. And throughout this, I thought that Qui-Gon would reply in some way. So I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited till the very end, and Qui-Gon did not reply at all. At all. And this is something that, I can't believe I'm saying this, but even fucking Dave Filoni did this where Qui-Gon actually called out in the Force and actually spoke to Obi-Wan at one point. And the fact that we have a Kenobi novel, and he's trying to reach out to Qui-Gon Jinn after Episode 3, and the fact that we didn't get Qui-Gon to say anything at any point is super disappointing. I expected that from the start. I wanted to see those conversations, but the only one was talking was Obi-Wan reaching out in the Force, and I wanted to see Qui-Gon reply. I wanted to see his opinions, because I know, remember from Episode 3, Yoda said that he would teach Obi-Wan on how to reach out to Qui-Gon in some way. I don't remember the exact quote. But I thought I would see this in here, but I didn't. I was just like, wow, that is super disappointing. Did it hurt the whole story? No, not by any means, but I really, really wanted to see him, man. I really did. And this Kenobi novel actually comes with a short story called Incognito by John Jackson Miller again. And this one is on his way to Tatooine on the ship, and he meets with a character of the same species as Griff from Knights of the Republic. That species, I don't remember the name, I'll just put it right over here. And yeah, it's a very short story and pretty good stuff. And it was from the Star Wars Insider, it was a short story from Star Wars Insider magazine. And we're gonna get like a Star Wars Insider, collection at one point. I should be getting it pretty soon, like in a month or two. So I'm gonna have to do a review on that as well. So I'm going to give Kenobi a... This is a really good read, man. I'd highly, highly recommend you guys go out and read this. This is just a fun story to read. And really engaging, and just a really great Western. And I'm telling you, the last 3/4 way into this book, it's a whole nother level. It's a greatness. If not all the flaws here and there with this book, I would give it a 5 out of 5 for sure. It would just be incredible. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of Kenobi if you've read it in the comment section below, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandoite, brothers and sisters, next time. Oh, yeah!